Hey guys, Dwayne here. Today I want to talk a little bit about the 11 reasons why your ex could potentially be a narcissist. The reason I want to talk about this is because, when you're first starting out on this, you're probably going to have questions about what's going on and what you really think reality is. And I think that these 11 things, if you're dealing with them, they could be significant indicators that you're probably dealing with a narcissistic personality disordered person or somebody with a cluster B personality disorder traits that will complicate your separation and divorce significantly. And if you have kids, this stuff is even more critical because a lot of these things will change the direction of your divorce and your custody hearings and stuff like that. And it's important to capture this or realize this early on so that you can take appropriate actions to protect yourself and to protect your kids during it. So in this video, I'm going to go over my top 11 reasons why I would say that your ex is probably a narcissist and that you need to take action immediately to alter what you're doing to protect yourself. Now, I'm not really going to talk about what some of those actions are. I've made a bunch of videos on that. But if you watch this video and you start saying yes to a lot of these questions, then I would strongly encourage you to look at some of my other videos or even look at my playlists on divorcing a narcissist, co-parenting with a narcissist, or just narcissistic recovery. So the number one thing right off the bat that if your ex is showing this is a really bad sign and a serious indicator that you need to take a different look or a different approach at what you're dealing with, and that is no empathy. If your ex has zero empathy towards your kids, now granted they're going to have no empathy towards you now because they're not working on a relationship with you anymore. But if you can see that they're making decisions that don't take anyone else's interests other than their own, and they only care about themselves, and they do not have any empathy for anyone else, like I said, you or their kids, well, you don't count. But that's a serious red flag that you need to think about. Okay, the second thing, number two, their actions don't follow their words. Now, you can probably look back and you'll be able to see that this was a situation that was going on during your marriage or relationship. And this will also manifest itself whenever you're going through the separation phase and you're working on your court stuff, where they will say one thing and they won't actually, it doesn't follow. That's a big indicator. Okay, number three, they try to provoke you in communication. If every communication seems like all it is an argument going tit for tat or back and forth, they're trying to engage you, they're trying to get you to respond, that is an indicator that they're looking for supply. And again, that's not really a very good sign, and it's something that you need to watch out for. Now, four, and this kind of falls into what I said about the empathy thing, but I wanted to mention this as a separate item, is they don't really seem to care about the kids. And what I mean by that is if you're having and this goes back into number three as well, if you're having conversations with them and you're trying to say, hey, look, we need to take the best interest of the kids in heart, and they're turning around and they're basically saying the same thing, but all they're doing is saying that to perpetuate or to work towards their own agenda, that is a really big indicator. And they will do things that like let's say one of your kids is sick and you want to take him to the doctor, and they're like, no, I'm sorry, I have a hair appointment for them, or something like that. That's something that actually happened to me. And it was like, so it was all about them. They didn't really care about, what's going on with the kids. Okay, the next thing, number five, and this can be devastating to you whenever it first happens, and that's as soon as you start seeing false accusations being thrown against you. If things are being said about you or things are being blown out of proportion, again, to perpetuate their own narrative to accomplish what they want to accomplish, that is a huge indicator that something's wrong. Number six, if all your communications achieves nothing. There's no agreement. Or you think you have an agreement and it goes they back off on it. Again, their actions aren't following their words. The communications aren't, are just basically trying to provoke arguments. That is, again, a very common trait of a narcissist, and something that can happen whenever you're going through the divorce process of this. The second you start seeing that your one-on-one communications with them is achieving nothing, you need to stop it. You need to cease those one-on-one communications and either work, if you have an attorney, work through the attorney and do everything through them. As soon as you realize what you're dealing with, continuing communication achieves nothing but sucks you back in, draws you back in, basically provides them more supply, and it doesn't accomplish anything for you. Okay, number 7 is that they appear really vindictive on everything that they're doing. And that one of the ways that manifests itself for me is every time I turned around, anything that she could, okay, just a quick rundown, and I've made other videos about this. When I first left, I did everything I could to try to make sure that it was easy as possible. I didn't cancel bills. I worked with her so she could move them out of my name and into her name. I didn't cancel anything. I basically reestablished service and stuff, and most of the bills were actually in my name. And every time I turned around, something was happening where, and the comment that she used to make towards me was, "Oh, not so good for you, but good for me." And it would be, "Oh, I got this," like the quick example is like the DirecTV. It's like, I don't watch TV. I'm not really a big TV watcher. And I'm like, "Hey, you need to move this in your account." It's like, "Oh no, that's your bill. That's not my bill." And, then it was like, "Well, I got this other thing and it's better price and you were getting hosed." It's like, they will find everything to try to poke you in the eye. If you're seeing that, that is a really bad sign. Okay, number 8, all their actions are controlling and they're trying to manipulate the situation to get their way. Now that falls back in with the false accusations and stuff like that. But if you start feeling like, they are trying to manipulate you to get their way, or they're manipulating other people to get their way, that is a huge indicator that something's not right. Okay. Number 9 is they bold-faced lie to you. They tell you, "Oh, I never said this," or "I never said that." And you'll know, because you'll hear from other people or you'll have other sources that will catch them in those lies. If they are telling you one thing and doing something else, which is one of, earlier in the list, I mentioned that is a critical indicator. If you start seeing that, then you need to take a step back and you need to start watching some of these other videos and doing stuff to protect yourself right off the bat. Okay, number 10, if you're getting that feeling, that sinking feeling that you're being set up, and that'll all tie into all these other things that have happened. If you feel like you're being set up, believe that gut feeling. If something doesn't feel right, more than likely it's not right. And in these situations, when you're dealing with somebody like this, they can do a lot of things to try to set you up, to provoke you to respond in a certain way, to perpetuate their narrative, to get an advantage, to get what they want. And that's what this is all about, is getting what they want. Okay, so a number 11, the last one on my list, is when they start recruiting your friends and family members. They're recruiting them against you. They're basically trying to use them as flying monkeys, as their surrogates to attack your credibility, your character, your parenting skills, that type of stuff. As soon as so guys, if you start, I would say any one of these things on this list, if you go down that list that I just went over, and any one of those things starts, you're saying yes on those, you need to take steps to protect yourself. You need to recognize that you're probably dealing with somebody with a personality disorder that is going to do everything in their power to manipulate the situation to get what they want. And this doesn't matter. if you're the mom or the dad, bottom line, if you're dealing with a narcissistic personality disordered individual, whether they're covert or overt, the sooner you figure out that you're dealing with somebody like this, the sooner you figure out that you're actually in a war with them or a fight with them, the better off you are, because every day and every moment that you're sitting there and you are trying to be reasonable and you're trying to think that, maybe they're just mad, or maybe they're just, they're just angry, so they're being vindictive, or they're, if any one of these 11 items lights up, take it seriously. Do things to protect yourself. Start making sure that you're not putting yourself in harm's way, and recognize that you more than likely you're dealing with somebody who has a personality disorder. If you've gotten to the point where you're at this channel and you're looking for videos like this to try to figure out your situation, something is wrong. Take a look at some of the other videos I've done on divorcing, like I said, divorcing a narcissist or co-parenting with a narcissist. Divorcing a narcissist, I would hit right now, because if you're in this stage of the game, the sooner you educate yourself on what you're dealing with, the better you're going to be, and the better you're going to be able to protect yourself and not make mistakes. There's been a lot of people on the channel who I think missed that mark, and they came to the game, they made the realization late and had already made mistakes, and the narcissist was able to utilize their flying monkeys and utilize these other actions to provoke you to do the wrong thing, to validate what they're trying to say. And then if you're going through a court thing and they're trying to say, oh, well, you do X, and then there's an example of you doing X because they were able to push your buttons to do it. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, so I'm going to wrap this up. I don't want to make this video too long. If there's some other things you want to add on the list that maybe, these are my 11 things that I picked. If you think that there's some things I missed, leave them in the comments below. If you like this video or you can relate to it, give it a thumbs up. If you like the channel, please subscribe, and I will talk to you guys on the next video. Take care. Bye.